crack open some Steve Weisers. This is talking.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
Can you do a? Don't forget talking to the mic.
Oh yeah.
I usually have like the pull down.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'll remember.
This is the easiest. Do you do? See the coffee like? Do you do?
It's one of those days. What?
Do you do Austin impression?
Sure, I'll do. Not a good start.
You don't do an Austin impression? Like
what?
No.
Yeah, my voice is thrown from. What? Tell me about it, kid. Talk to me. Yeah, Cutshaw does a great Austin impression.
Yeah.
So on the way back from shows, that's all we do is I just ask him things and make sure he asks me back in Cutshaw, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Have you ever been to Sierra Nevada's brewery in Asheville?
Yeah, it's tight, man.
I have not, and I want to. So bad.
It's so great if you can get in there. It's just getting it from the taint or the tap. Like, this is my favorite beer, and getting it straight from the source is just absolutely delicious. I say taint.
You did.
Fudge.
We're 2 minutes into this podcast. I already got to mark it explicit.
Isn't this how I got my job at PWX, though? Didn't I say a joke about somebody's, like, hole in their butt? And, like, that's what happened? I said...
I don't know. How... All right, before we get going, this
sucks.
is season 4 of the Tuesday special, or now known as the Tuesday podcast. You can get it on iTunes, Stitcher, all that good stuff. Ads have played. I don't even know how I'm going to work this out yet, because this is the first episode back after a year off.
Debut episode, huh?
The debut of the new season.
Yeah.
Like, we made it to season 4 because we can't get canceled because it's my show.
Yeah,
on my platform.
Yeah, and we shouldn't really say... I'm trying not to get canceled either.
No, we're not getting canceled. It's I don't want to talk about the cancel culture.
Yeah.
I just had a huge talk about that with some very high-end people in Chicago this past weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Dave Foster.
Dilly.
Extraordinaire. I've known hey, how long have I known you now?
I think the first
2
time I
years?
met you, Ethan introduced me to you at maybe the show that shall not be named or before that.
What's the show that shall not be named? Huh?
The show where...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
you can
shouldn't...
say the Midlife Crisis.
The Midlife Crisis, but it was my first...
Shout out Cubics.
Hey, I like him. It was my first...
He don't bother me. He hates Brian, I think. I don't think he hates me. Me and him had some good
I don't want to get in the...
yeah.
So we're running down a list of people to bury, and that's...
ViralProWrestling.com.
Yeah.
So was I an asshole?
You have always been nothing but really freaking nice to me.
I like to ask people that. I try my best not to be. I come across as an asshole sometimes.
No,
but
you're
but
just
it's when I'm in the zone.
Yeah, no, you're focused. Like when I was, we filmed the show earlier tonight, and when I went over to you, I just knew I had to ask you really direct things and get really direct answers.
Yeah.
And like, if you need to just learn how to work with people, and then you're
okay.
No, just in general, like that's your preference. I'm not gonna like BS you.
No.
You know.
Well, I'm very direct. But I used to be a lot worse than I am now. I've mellowed out a lot. If you ask anybody, you ask Ethan, you ask Skylar, you ask Cedric, you ask anybody, me in the early days was bad.
Well, did you feel like it was because you really had to like prove your worth in that sense? Because right now you're kind of on you're established at this point. Because I feel the same way.
It's weird. I hate being. This sounds so weird. I hate being established. I want every time I work. I have this work ethic that every time I do something for somebody, no matter if it's here, AAW, New Japan, I feel like it's my day to prove my worth to them.
And that's the only way you level up too. Like that's the only way you get better is if you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Because this is all extra to me. Like, I got into it when I was 28 like this. So every time I'm in here, it's, all right, do the best you can today, be the best you can to be to people, help put other people over, because that's literally my only job, and just go for it. And like...
It's... Like, I have a weird mindset, and like me and Jaden were just talking about this, about I don't have an ego. I wish I did at some points in time. But I don't know. I'm one of those... I found this out in art school, is I don't know how good I am. That sounds egotistical, but I don't mean it that way. And I don't care to know how good I am.
Because
it doesn't matter to me.
Exactly.
What matters to me is if somebody pays me to do a commercial, I want that commercial to do what they want it to do. If we have a show, and this is what a lot of, I think fans are starting to realize, but some talents don't even realize is there's so much more than just showing up to a building and putting on a show that goes into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I get very anal when people like fuck shit up, is because like there's so much that goes into this, and if something goes wrong and it can be avoided, that irks me.
No, and I get that too, and that's like, I have to being a ring announcer or doing commentary, I have to tread this like weird imaginary line where it's, I want to put everyone else over. Hi. I want to get my stuff in, but that's not number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5 priority. My job is to get other people over. If they interact with me in the ring, like it happened a few times tonight. Brian, everyone clap at home.
He's already been on the podcast. He was on episode 2 or 3.
2? Man, you started off. Season. Man, you must have gotten a lot better at this point.
I know. It's terrible.
But
Thank you, Brian.
But like it's just about Brian. I'm talking, Brad. But it's just about trying to help other people get over, and it's actually that's a really cool thing for my to keep my ego in check, because it's very much I've gotten all these opportunities. And I am so freaking thankful for you and everything, and Ethan and every single person that has helped build me up. That really like an ego is like all these people invested in you, and you're gonna have an ego about it.
Yeah, I think when you get older, how old are you now?
I'll be 33 this month. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I turned 38 last month.
Yeah,
I know I don't look that old.
No, you're great.
But it's like I don't even know that I had an ego when I was younger. I've always been more so on the verge of helping people out more than me being the star of the show. And it's hard. It's hard with Tuesday. It's hard with anything that I do individually, because I burn out on it, because there's no justification or there's no reward in it. It's weird because like I'll release the Tuesday episodes. I'll release this episode, video and audio, on Tuesday.com if you want to listen to it.
Oh, shilling.
Exactly. And I will hate it until like 6 months from now, and I go back through my YouTube channel and watch some of it, and I'm like, this was a good time. Like, I like the way I did this. I like the way I did that. I hate that about me, but also that's a drive, like a driven force in where I am. But to go back to what you said about make sure you get everybody else over, like you have to get yourself over at some point too, because before you know it, everybody else is over and you've helped them get to that level and you're still here.
Well, that's why I try and get, and that's the percent where I have to get my stuff into. Like GM Dave, I mean, you kind of like when you signed me for like commentary at Pure, this is like my 2-year anniversary this month, and
nice.
I feel like I was like you kind of signed me, not sign me, try out, but like sight unseen. Like you saw a little bit, but I feel like someone just like Ethan was probably just like,
I think Ethan went to bat for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so if someone
I have
goes,
people that I trust.
Yep.
And also I'm very truthful on if you suck, I'll tell you suck. And
I'm still here.
Once again, but you don't suck.
Thank you.
But once again, it goes back to there's a lot that goes into this. And now I'm reaping the reward. This is the last thing we're going to say about me, because this isn't about me. This is for me to find out more about you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Now I'm reaping the reward of delegating, because I can see my work ethic and my expertise showing up in other people who did not have it when they showed up.
No,
and
yeah, man, that's what it's all about. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Because so it's funny. I was sitting. Our timekeeper night, our bell guy, was a student I coached at. So I work full time at the University of South Carolina, and I'm a career coach. So I help people get jobs.
That's what we're going to cover next.
Yeah, and so I teach a class. I teach a couple classes, which is why I think I'm so kind of natural in the ring. Like I'm a showman. Yeah. So like I want to engage people.
I can tell that the first time I ever met you.
Cool. Hopefully it comes from a genuine place, because it does.
Yes.
But I was tutoring him, or I was helping him find a career, and he's like, through COVID, I've been watching AEW. I remember you saying something about wrestling, and it was that little thing, and now he's doing timekeeping at Pure, and it only took him like 2 months to do it, and I've been it took me like 3 years to get here, little jerk. But it is cool to lift up other people. And that's my favorite. That's why I love commentary so much, is because all you're doing, you can get your stuff in every once in a while. I still feel like, speaking of, I don't go back and rewatch. I ask like,
yeah, me either.
I can't. I ask Elliot how it went from the Heat Seekers. I have people that'll ask like, how's your match? But the best thing that Chip Day said to me, I saw him last week, and my fiance has heard this 18 times by now. But I saw Chip last week, and, he had that probably the best match I've ever called in my life with Davey Richards. Mm-hmm. And Chip Day told me that, like, he really enjoyed my commentary on that match. And I'm never going to listen to it because I'm not going to do that to myself. I hate the sound of my own voice.
Yeah.
Which is so funny that I do what I do. But I get hearing it from people that, because other people are going to know better than me. Like, if I was bad, you or Trevin or Brett or Kevin, someone would tell me, like, hey, try doing this. And I'm open to it. Absolutely open to it. But I think I found something where, since I started later, I found something to where my ego was kind of already, like, I was already established as a human being almost when I started. And I think that helped me a lot.
It's the reason I love you on commentary is because you're a fan.
Yeah.
You're not jaded, you're not jaded by the business.
Not yet.
And this is what I tell everybody is you have Brett, who is like Mike Tenay.
The
who
statistician.
knows stats, who knows everything. You have Trevin, who is like almost like a radio broadcaster.
Yes.
Like he has his cadence, he has his presentation, he has his lines that he gets out. You are the perfect in between because you bring that fan out of it.
Oh, I just want to tell stories.
It's like continuously every month. If we said we're gonna get a fan and put them on commentary, and they're gonna freak out, or like when fans freak out because they're really a fan. That's you.
Yeah.
Like you think it's a blessing. I'm blessed that I have somebody like you that can sit in that middle seat that can give that to the audience.
The excitement. Because I freaking love PWX. It's so good.
That's what's so interesting about like how different viewpoints of situations.
Yeah.
Is like you look at it as like I get it, but I don't understand it, of people saying I'm so blessed to be a part of PWX. And I don't want to say that we haven't put in a ton of work. We haven't done things right. We haven't had like balls roll our way. We have. And my brain lives in like 5-year increments. Like anything less than or over 5 years ago is like another lifetime to me. Same. So when people there was people talking about back when the Great Outdoors were tag team champions in PWX, the Great Outdoorsmen, were like Jake Manning and Grizzly Redwood, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even remember. Yeah. I don't even remember those shows.
It's crazy to look at PWX. It's almost like when I started about 2 years ago, like the last crop of talent went up. Yeah. That was when, and I met, Cedric at AAW before I even got started. I think maybe in that summer, maybe in summer 16, summer 17. Mm-hmm. And it's just funny, the connections, because now you're part of production for them or doing something, right? And it's just so funny how small the wrestling world is. And now I remember back to that show, and either I know most of them or most of them are on TV either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday night. It's wild watching AEW Dark and being like, buddy, like Drake, hey, my buddy, or Yuta or something like that. It just, and I think you gave a speech earlier to the talent, and you said like PWX is essentially AAA baseball, and it freaking is. And for me to get there this close, like this kind of quickly and by happenstance, all of this is just like a dream that I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid. My first dream I remember is of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Like, it's the first dream I remember. And so it's funny that, not everyone gets to chew on that.
Live that dream.
Yeah. And so that's why everyone's like, you're so positive, Dave. I'm like, no, I go to therapy, like, just like everyone else.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it help? I've been teetering. I don't think I need it.
Well, I mean, but you would have to.
You can only hear like a certain amount of those self-help ads on podcasts before you're like, I mean, I might try this.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, it's like, I'm a smart individual, but every single human being has their blind sides. For me, I think my therapist asked me a really freaking good question. So I do ring it out. I do wrestling almost every weekend.
Don't go over any therapist.
No, I'm gonna give you
patient.
something.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you something good. No, because it's really like
I was gonna transition to how you became a professor or teacher. At
yeah,
USC.
we'll get to that. But
let me you try to sway me, yay or nay, on the therapy thing.
Okay, so for me, I am go.
It's not too much for you to talk about.
No, I don't care. I asked him the other day, like, where does stupidity come from? Because I don't understand how people can be so stupid. Like, so I am cynical. Like,
that comes from
upbringing and lack of self-awareness. Because you have to be self-aware to be able to change, and that's why I feel like I'm very self-aware. No, that's what I mean. That and what I know. But I asked him the other day. He's like, I hear you talking about all the things you do. Like, you do wrestling, you run a tutoring business, you teach at USC, you like are the head of like this like little fitness group and all this stuff. Like, who are you when you're not doing stuff?
That's a good question.
I have no, and it's actually he was telling me like that's a lot of what like research says about masculinity is that men are people that always felt like they had to do shelter, put those emotions deep down, provide in one way or another. And I really don't have an answer for him. Like, I'm being as authentic.
I feel like this is going to turn into a therapy session.
Yeah. So who am I when I'm not here? You wouldn't know.
I was battling, like, legitimately. This is what's so crazy about this. This is the way the universe works. I was battling yesterday with, I don't want to feel the need to have to be important at PWX. I don't want to be driven by people feeling the need to come thank me or see me as the gatekeeper of their future and all that stuff. I don't want that. And I'm so scared. I don't think I have it because I try to be real with everybody I meet. But I don't, that's a very fine line to walk.
It's interesting because it's how to deal with power.
Yes. And the way I've always dealt with power, and I believe people should deal with power, is with power comes responsibility and opportunities for others. Mm-hmm. So that's why when speaking of like the PWA stuff, that's why whenever we're doing a New Japan show in Atlanta,
do they need a ring announcer?
Hey, let's use the PWA kids because they help us all the time.
They're the best.
And let's bring them up so they can experience this. And then that's why I say Brad and Kevin are coming with me to this New Japan show to help with production. Yep. So you guys can see what they can do.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, they're sitting on that panel of production people during the live shows with us and running the screens and doing all this.
If you just, for anyone that needs advice in this industry, and I mean, I don't have a lot of experience, but it's getting there. Like, it's accumulating for sure. If you do your best when you show up and you're good to people, you will, because I think it's pretty passe, the whole, like, because I don't see it really in any locker room, the whole, like, respect is earned and something. Like, I get it. That's implied. It's on its
way out. That's how it was.
It's on its way out.
In 2003 when I started.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
And there's just no, and I never get it because I'm also not swimming in the stream of all the wrestlers trying to get over. So like, I'm like, hey, I'm Dave. How can I put you over? Man, talk about the nicest icebreaker you could give somebody, whether I'm getting commentary notes or I'm getting their info. I'm like, whatever you want to help me get you over. And like, that's cool because I'm trying to lift up
it's just
other people.
Like today, I approached two people and I said, it was one of the best questions I've ever asked because I don't know if people can tell this is I have like, and this might be everyone. I go through scenarios in my head, especially like pregame speeches before shows. Of like, this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. This is how I want to present this one, and it all just goes away.
Oh, dude, you can't give me lines.
Goes away. And also, it helps in production that I have ADHD, but it doesn't help in life. Is because I'm like clinically diagnosed with ADHD. I was on Adderall for a year, and for that year, I was the most productive person.
Yeah, you're probably Superman, but eventually,
yes. But I felt like I was becoming reliant on it. Like every morning before I woke up and I had to go to work, I took like one of those extended release Adderalls. And there's also, I don't know if anybody ever took Adderall, It's like when you talk about yourself, you get like a high in your head.
Yeah.
And it makes you just continuously talk. Like I love Joe Rogan always says, it's like they sound like a crackhead because all they do is talk about themselves. Yeah. And what it is because whenever you talk about something that interests you, like it's like a high that you can feel.
And what's more interesting to you than talking about yourself?
And talking about you and your achievements and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I hated that. So shout out to Onnit. I got on
great.
Alpha Brain and it weaned me off Adderall. I haven't been on it since.
Is Alpha Brain tight? Because I've always wanted to try it.
I like it. Let me go back. The thing I love about Adderall is not because I can focus and do stuff, because you don't take Adderall and try to do production because you can't skip from one thing to another.
No.
That's one of my secret weapons for how I'm good at like live production is because I have ADHD and I can do this, but then jump to this, then do this, then jump to this, then do this.
Oh, I heard you tonight on the headset. I mean, it was bonkers.
And it's easy for me, and it kind of feeds my I don't want to say disability, but
you like connecting dots, right? Like you like connecting it all together.
But none of the dots have to go to a destination. Mm-hmm. Like I can just start this line and just let it fucking
Bye.
go.
Yeah.
Like I had a management job, and that was one of my biggest critiques in my management job is I would start something, and then I'd get to here, and I'd start something else. And I'd get to here, and I'd start something else, and nothing ever crossed the finish line because I had so much going on.
Oh, I get that.
But fuck, where was I going?
Talking about science.
Exactly. ADHD at its finest.
Yeah,
Its finest.
Oh, we're never, there's no script that is great because I think I had a point about 4 minutes ago and that ship or the train has left the station on that one. But yeah, go to, therapy school.
I think I want to do it.
Just go talk
I'm
to somebody.
I'm not scared of it by any means.
No.
I just I feel like if I lived in Los Angeles, and this is me making a generalization about a certain geographical location. I feel like if I lived in Los Angeles, there'd be tons of places that I could just call and say, I want to do therapy. Mm. But I don't, but I also...
You got to find the right one, and that's a whole... Like, I got a referral from my best friend.
I don't feel like I'm depressed, and I don't think only depressed people should go to therapy. But I feel like I don't have any depression. There is a scare in my brain that I'm driven by things that are coming up. So... It's been so long. So I've been doing PWX for 10 years. And with that comes, I have a show in 3 weeks. I have to get to that show. Oh, I have a show in three weeks. I have to get to that show.
Yep.
So there's always a destination piece that you can get to that keeps you driven. What happens if you don't have a destination piece? What happens if you have nothing coming up?
What happened to you during COVID? I turned into a shriveled up ball, dried up pruned ball of myself.
I created my own destinations.
Yeah,
so I created Tuesday. I created the Tuesday challenge. I created work because one flaw I have is if I say I'm going to take a day off, I get about 3 hours into that day.
Bored.
And then after 3 hours, I need to do something. Yeah. I can edit this video. I can rebuild this. I need to rebuild this website that doesn't need to be rebuilt. And it's so I know there's flaws there, and I know there's things I can talk through. But then again, I say I'm happy with my life.
You found a way to make your strengths so I'm the youngest of 4. So being in the center of a wrestling ring and being the center of attention literally was my entire growing up. So I found a way. I'm a cheerleader. I found a way to make that work.
Yeah.
But there's just there's just something. I want to know. I bet our therapy sessions actually be pretty similar because it's I'm
going to call this therapy session with Dave Foster.
Yeah, cool. None of us are licensed. I got a B- in counseling though. That was cool. But who are you when you're not doing shit?
Yeah, dad. Dad.
Yeah. Oh, well, you always have that. Yeah.
I mean, if there's anything that my son made me realize, it's crazy because everybody I've ever heard talk about having a kid. My kids will be 3 in November. October, shit.
Cut it. We can edit and post.
No, the 11-year-old is that's my inherited kid. The 11-year-old is November. Garrison is October 16th, which is Katie's birthday too.
That's fun.
Mom's birthday. They share a birthday, which means I only have to buy one gift, and that's for Garrison. But
yikes.
But see, I don't even know where I was going with that.
When you're not
with ADHD.
Whatever, man. When you're not doing stuff, you're being down.
So everybody, it's a weird situation because everybody, when they say their kid's born, they work for them. Everything they do is to build a future for them. And it is.
Thank you for the birth control.
And it is. But it's so weird how, once again, the universe works is because when my son was born was when everything started happening. Like when the New Japan thing started happening. When the AAW thing happened. And next thing you know, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my entire life. And a lot of that is coming from wrestling.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I got a new job. Like, I got a new full-time job doing a graphic design.
So you're flipping that too, so everything's new to you.
Just what is this? Is this the good karma that I receive once? And once again, I love it because I understand that not everybody's blessed. For a long time, I wasn't blessed. I loved my job. I loved working in healthcare. Absolutely loved it. I would still do it if I didn't have the opportunity to do graphic design. That's how much I loved it. But now, like, I'm working in my field that I went to school for. And I'm working for New Japan. I'm working for AAW.
My man.
I'm building PWX still, and we're back on track when we've been off track for the last 3 years. And it's just like I'm just waiting for something.
I feel that, I mean, I'm not there yet, like, as in my wrestling journey, but, like, I really do feel like trying to, and it's an ego check, of course. Like, I try and check my ego, but it does feel like I'm not even, I mean, like, doing this stuff's amazing, and I hate that I'm saying this to you, but, like, I think there's just still so much more I'm going to end up doing in wrestling. And that's freaking tight, dude.
The craziest thing about success that I've found, and I don't even think I have success, but I have some, is I'll use the analogy that I used whenever I got my management job at the hospital. So I worked in a hospital for 18 years in an ER. Well, ER most of the 18 years. I skipped around for 5. So 5 years before I left, I got a management job in healthcare. Never thought, was never working towards management. The way it came about was I saw something on the website, on the interwebs, and I said, hey, I called my boss, who I was really tight with, and I said, hey, what's going on with this management job? Because I know it's been open for a while, and it's in the ER. I know about the ER. And she's like, well, we just hadn't found the right fit yet. And I said, well, let me interview. And 3 months later, I had the job of being the boss of an ER, which was big for me. And the realization that I had whenever I was called was everything that I had done unintentionally to that point had prepared me for that.
My man.
And that blew my fucking mind. In a sense of, like, when I first started in the ER, I worked 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. That was my shift. I loved it because I was in college. And whenever the third shift person would call out, I would just say, I'll work the rest of the shift until 7 a.m. if you give me tomorrow off. That was my play. And that became, Patrick is reliable. So
doing the stuff that other people don't want to do.
Like, Patrick's reliable. So in management's mind, like, Patrick's one of the most reliable employees because anytime Myra, who was a third shift person, love her to death. I don't even know if she's still alive, but she was older.
Okay.
But awesome coworker. This is the beers talking now.
Yeah, she's dead now, though. You killed her.
I'm fucking,
man, come on.
I'm weak. I can't drink another one. I would stay. And that was like the genesis of the build of what became Patrick is going to be good for this job.
I love listening to how, and it's all scaled, but like how successful people, and being successful is a mindset. It's not, you're going to fail. You're going to fail this, you're going to fail that. But the successful and resilient mindset is like, I know I'm taking one for the team right now. Eventually you do have to, like, give up the goose a little bit and be like, I'm actually not going to do that. But if you're trying to earn your keep, you do. And like how you were at the hospital, I feel like is how I worked my way up, so to speak, with Pure.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to.
No, that's it. I'm done.
Tell me how you became are you a professor?
Yeah. It's weird. So I went to school in 2007. I went to Susquehanna University up in Pennsylvania, and I just never left school. So I went from...
Were you addicted to school? Or were you addicted to learning?
No, none of that. I'm addicted to helping people, and I found... So my senior year, I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I have a marketing degree that I kind of use in PCW, but like that's it. And I was
I have
like,
a business administration degree.
yeah, hey, look at us.
Boom.
Hey, if, PSA, if you
That's
don't
my first degree.
if you don't know what you want to do with your life, get a business degree.
Yes. I went to community college, got a business degree. Then I went to private art school and got an art degree that I've paid for since 2008, and I still owe the balance.
Oh, the reason I started a tutoring business is because I have student loans from I went to a private liberal arts institution for undergrad, and then I went to grad school after that. I got at Ohio University. I got
You beat me.
I got my grad school paid for, but the interest on the horrible loans I took out for undergrad just accumulated. So it's like I paid for it anyway.
If you learn anything from this podcast, and looking in the camera when I say this, do not go to private college.
No, man. And I would not exchange that experience for anything except all my money back.
Yes.
But going to a small school, it's a sandbox. So like I love playing music. So I got to go play like little acoustic shows. And
that's another thing I need to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm a weird, I have a lot of everything. And
It's not weird. You're an artist.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just play Slipknot covers on my Jim Root Telecaster
I hate
these
that you
days.
play guitar. I've had a guitar. And once again, I'm making this about me.
I don't care.
To relate to someone who can't play guitar, can play Hootie and the Blowfish, and
I only want to be with you.
yes. No.
Let Her Cry? Oh, you would.
No, it's not Let Her Cry. It's
just you in the dark.
what is
just
it? It is Let Her Cry. It is Let Her Cry. I can play that.
There's
I can play
one
Wagon
candle.
Wheel,
There you
Wagon
go.
Wheel,
There you
which
go.
is always a go-to at parties when you're drinking.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I can play the Aaron Lewis version of the Rascal Flatts song. Somebody help me.
I'm not going to help you because I hate Aaron Lewis.
What? Whatever.
So I went to a concert in 2001. It was Family Value Store. It was Dead Sea, Static X, Linkin Park, Stained, and Stone Temple Pilots.
And you hate Aaron Lewis?
And 3 of those 5 lead singers are dead, and the crappy ones are still.
Don't bring this down. Why do you hate Aaron Lewis?
I don't really want to get into it.
Did he do something to you?
Oh no, you should you should look him up now.
Oh, I know now.
I just don't.
His shit, because he's an asshole to his fans?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
No,
All right, I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to stand up for this.
Are you still in frame?
This is
You're not in frame.
This is what Aaron Lewis does while Mike Mushok, their guitarist, is crushing a
The guy that
sweet
plays
riff.
the
Dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
the man. So then Aaron Lewis just stands there and is like, never meant to fade away.
Hey, are people buying tickets? You like Corey Taylor?
Don't do that to me. They are not the same.
They are not the same.
They are not.
They're not the same.
Corey Taylor's my boy.
Like Dave Grohl, number one for me.
Yeah,
for
okay.
me, just because of the shit that he's done. His outlook on everything.
Yep.
I can't find anything that he has professed his outlook about that I disagree with.
And I think that's what comes down with Aaron
Corey
Lewis.
Taylor's number 2 for me.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Even though I'm not a Slipknot fan, Snuff is one of my favorite songs ever.
So you like more. You probably like Stone Sour a lot more. Yes,
I like Stone Sour.
Mm-hmm. Stone Sour's tight, especially when Jim Roots was in the band.
I don't know if it's called Can't the song that Corey Taylor recorded the vocals for from
Ken the Can't with Dave Grohl, and they did it at the sound studio.
Rick Nelson.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna listen to that on the way home.
Anybody who's listening or anybody sitting
from
in the
Ken
live audience,
to Can't.
if you have not seen Sound City documentary on Prime, maybe you might have to pay for it.
Yeah,
you need to watch it.
It's great.
It's about the Nirvana. Are you a music guy? You look like a music guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes Coheed and Cambria. I'm not sure if that counts.
Oh, okay.
Jesse's never listened to music.
It's about the board.
The board
Sound
for
City
Nevermind. Yeah.
For Nevermind for.
In Utero, I think was.
No, not REO Speedway. What's the fucking landslide girl? Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood
Mac. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Steamy Britches.
It's a great documentary. Anything that Dave Grohl. If you've seen, what's the ones he did for HBO?
Oh, the players circle thing.
No. Where they went to the different cities and recorded a song in each city.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I loved it. And I loved In Your Honor was peak Foo Fighters for me. But dude, we saw them for the first time ever at Epicenter 2 years ago. They had no reason to play 3 hours at their main event. It was a festival date.
my
Most
buddy-
people play 12 songs for festivals. You know?
I saw him in You said Greensboro?
Rockingham.
Okay, I saw
Remember
him
when
in
we had a
Greensboro.
PWX show there in the middle of nowhere?
Yes, with 150 people. There.
And then COVID happened.
COVID knew what the fuck was going on.
I made a COVID joke on commentary, and I feel it did not age like
It's
milk.
fine. It's fine.
Sorry, cut it.
I went and saw the Foo Fighters in Greensboro. That's not my story, but I went to see the Foo Fighters in Greensboro. The Strokes opened up for them. That were
Tight.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But my friend he was going to get me a ticket, but he could only buy 2 tickets when the Democratic National Convention was in Charlotte. Foo Fighters played the Fillmore. And he went, and they played 3 hours with no opening band.
At the Fillmore?
At the Fillmore.
Oh, my God.
I'm so pissed.
When do you ever see an arena band
at the Fillmore?
at the Fillmore?
As a 2000, like, it was not even seats. They don't have seats.
No, man. I saw Fozzy at the Fillmore. And I'll
you go?
probably see Fozzy again.
I've never seen Fozzy.
Dude, they're coming to
You
Columbia.
know what I did see at the Fillmore? Flogging Molly.
I bet that was fun.
Yes.
But the whole place rocked.
I had no idea. It was so funny because this is when I booked weddings, when I filmed weddings. I had booked a wedding. It was $1,000. And, $1,000 down payment because weddings are insanely priced.
That's
and
why.
people will pay that shit.
I won't. That's why we're
but
getting
I
married
hate
in
editing
Japan.
Weddings.
Nope.
Like I did it for 2 years, made the most money I've ever made in my entire life. From like art, like from that.
That's cool.
Right now I'm making the most collective. Like,
I'm that the
monthly
same
money.
way. Yeah.
And I had just booked a wedding, and we went, and it was my best friend's wife at the time, and she is like her band. Like she's Irish. She loved it, and so I paid for VIP, and they went up to the front. I understand my place as a 6'2" male individual.
Thank you. Don't crowd surf.
When it's a standing room only place, is I stand in the back because I can see over everybody. But they
Good
went up
man.
to the front, and I stood in the back, and I met a guy with his wife, and I figured out that the guy that I met that was standing back there with me was one of the graphic designers for Live Nation, but became my friend later because he is the graphic designer for Cabarrus Brewing.
Wow.
How crazy is
Dude,
that shit?
the whole world.
The universe.
It's so.
It's the third time I've said this. The way the universe works is insane.
No, so how I got down to South Carolina is the same thing. Like, so I finished grad school at OU, got a degree in higher education, looking for the first job, and I went on to apply to like 150 to 200 jobs. I got so many interviews, and nothing was working. And that just so I
don't
was
even
like,
know what that's like.
well, it's
How crazy is this shit to our live audience? Is I had the same job from the time that I was 18 to the time that I was 37.
Did you get a couple raises in there, pal?
Yeah,
Okay.
I worked for the same healthcare system.
Dang.
And when I got my graphic design job, it was like a transition. It was like a phone call. It was a text message that said, "Hey, are you looking for freelance work?" I said, "I'm not, but what do you got?" And it was shout out Kirby Mack, if you remember Kirby Mack. Yep. That's who hooked me up with it. And he's like, then I signed a contract to do freelance work. After a week, they were like, "We want to hire you full time." Signed to do full time, so it was a transition. So I haven't had to look for a job in 20 years. And
that's the way to do it. I mean, if you can go into a job interview or not even a job interview, but if you can just get by, like if your reputation, that's what I knew. I knew as soon as someone finally gave me a chance, I was going to build my empire, to be egotistical, but I knew that as soon as someone gave me a shot, I was going to put a chip on my shoulder from all those denials. Yeah. So I ended up getting a job at USC.
Where did you live then? Like when you got the job at USC?
I was in Athens, Ohio. So I went straight from grad school, and then I moved down here in 2013. When I finally got the job, I remember exactly when it happened. I was watching Dark Knight Rises. It was the bridge scene.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Were they on the bus?
We're on the bus. Last through. Yeah, it was there. I got buzzing on my phone. I got the call saying, "Hey," and I had no ties in South Carolina. Did you
pause the movie?
No, okay, so I actually came back to it after I got the phone call when...
You walked off, didn't you?
I walked off.
Are you a walker?
I got pace.
When you get phone? Okay.
I have to pace. Yeah, especially if it's important. And so I got off. I was like, "Hey, can I call you back real quick?" Hung up the phone. I puked.
Hold on. somebody offered you a job, you said, "Can I call you back real quick?"
No, I mean, like, I was like, hey, thanks. Like, can you send me the offer? Whatever. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember because it's a blur.
Yes.
And because I carried that on my shoulders because it was July. Most people get jobs by May.
Yeah.
And I had the first final round interview in February of my entire like cohort class. I was the last person to get a job. And so, like, I was watching all my friends. I was getting on campus interviews, like final rounds. I just wasn't seeing the deal. But if it took any less time, I wouldn't have came to South Carolina.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have found my fiance randomly at an Oktoberfest. Like, the way serendipity works is nuts.
This is my thing when people say, like, believe what you want to believe when it comes to
law of
religion.
attraction is a thing.
Yes.
Is a thing. I'm sorry. It's a force like gravity.
Yes. But it's believe if you believe there's a God, good for you. If you believe in Allah, good for you. Whatever,
it doesn't matter. Satanism, cool. Hail Satan. Hail yourself.
As long as you have a belief system, you cannot deny that you're on a path.
There's a path. No, I am very much. I mean,
yes.
As soon as I started doing, even before I started doing pro wrestling, I had dreams that I was like in a wrestling ring, not as a wrestler. Like I don't want to. Yeah, we're the same. My body is not made for that. I broke my ribs 3 times in like 6
months. Not either, but I did it for 6 years.
Yeah, well, you're stupid. I watched a bunch of bumps tonight, and I was like, It's like when I hear people talk about their kids, it's free birth control for me. When I watch people wrestle, it's free. Yeah, you're doing the right thing by staying out of the ring and just doing what you're doing. But
you're misguided with kids.
Yeah, I know. I know. I hear it from all my dad friends.
Hold on. Don't do it until you've done everything you want to do.
Yeah, and I'm just not there yet.
There's a place. I mean, I was 36 when I had my son.
Oh, yeah. That was a couple of years down.
When I had my son, I was like, I've done.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not done living yet.
This sounds so morbid, but I believe it is. If I died tomorrow, I would be happy with the experience that I've been blessed with.
Yeah.
Up to this point.
100%.
But the thing about kids is, if I didn't have a kid, I could die tomorrow.
And the legacy will end.
So fucking morbid.
No, the legacy will end. No.
I could die tomorrow and not have to worry about anything. Like,
that sounds tight.
People be sad. Like, but I've lived an amazing life up to this point. Now it's like, if I die tomorrow, like, Garrison will have his whole life without me. So it adds a whole nother. This is going back to the fucking therapy thing. Hey, it adds a whole nother aspect to life in general, in your thought process when it comes to life. Of like, now there's like this asterisk of like, but
it's a continuation. It's almost like a semicolon.
But this kid won't have me, and what could I teach him? Which is so scary.
As you said, I was misguided about having kids, because that sounds like an existential crisis of like.
No. I think I've had 2 friends, Corey Hollis and Brad Wilson, that have had their first kid in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Both of them. And Corey, who was the most selfish person out, like, only Corey matters.
You know, they recorded this live, pal.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll tell him to his face. I love Corey to death.
I think you're great.
He was selfish. Every time he doesn't call me anymore, he FaceTimes me. And every time I pick up the FaceTime,
it's the kid.
It's the kid. And he's like, she's wondering what you're doing, Patrick. And I'm like,
that's amazing.
And I love it. Yeah. I love it.
No,
and
I mean, I get it.
But I preface that with everyone that I say, having a kid is the most amazing thing to ever happen to you. But do all your single shit first.
Yeah.
Do all the shit that you would like. Go to the places you want to go. Do what you want to do. And then and I also tell people that have kids when they're young, save money, and when they go to college, when they grow up, go do all that shit. I never had a college life. I lived at home when I went to college.
Yeah.
All through college, I either lived at home or I never lived on campus. I never lived that campus life. I never lived that dorm life.
#dorm.
Yeah. And it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's always a time to come back to that.
Yeah. And
not that I'll ever do it. I'm too old now.
No, you'll have like 2 beers and, and your ADHD will kick in. And
then we'll be talking about like giraffes and field and
Yo, I love giraffes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when my buddy had his first kid, he literally said to me, in all seriousness, and I absolutely believed him, that my life didn't matter until I had my first kid. And I'm like, oh, I think my...
That.
Well, it's like the importance of things. Your just perspective changes, like you were saying with Corey. Like I don't know Corey Hollis really at all, but like his perspective changed, and when you change your perspective, that's how it works.
I'm listening to.
Yeah, no. What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
I'm getting fussed at.
Oh, cool. Good luck. But yeah, so I got the job at USC, and then I started in like a really tangential. I was like off-campus living, but I knew I wanted to help build people up. Mm-hmm. Stayed in off-campus living for 5 years. That's when I started wrestling training, which ended up turning into what this is now.
Yeah.
And now I'm a career coach. And I said it earlier.
That's amazing.
It's so, like, I just love helping people. And I don't know what that is because I was the youngest by 8 years. Like, I shouldn't care about other people at all. Like, I should be a narcissist.
Yeah.
But there's just something about lifting other people up that really, I don't know, man. I was meant to do it.
People find their future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like learn, like figure out their future.
Yeah, because a lot of it is, I mean, essentially, I'll help them with the resume, with interviews, with tactile stuff. But a lot of it is like, I'm a 19-year-old kid and I have absolutely no idea what I want to do. And I say, guess what, pal? Bring it in. Nobody knows what they want to do with their life but you need to get some.
And you're not going to figure it out.
Ever. You're never going to figure out what you want to do. It's a natural progression. So anybody.
Natural drive.
Yeah. And so that comes back to like fixed and growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you will adapt and you will learn and you will be self-aware enough to say, okay, actually, I like doing this. Let me go dabble in this a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that. It's not bringing me joy. Let me Marie Kondo that thing out of my life. Right. And so people are so scared to like indulge in their passions. I'm not talking about serial killers, but like, and the cool thing is about the wrestling culture we have here is if you're interested in wrestling, you could probably find something to do, whether it's helping set up the ring or ring the bell or anything like that. And it's cool. Like I'm not there yet, but I eventually want to be to where you are, where it's like, I've been around a long time. I've been, seasoned in all that stuff. I've done, all the shows, all that, to where not that there's nothing new to me, but like people can come to me for advice.
Yeah.
Like, because I can't wait to be a coach, like the way Ethan is. Because Ethan and I are really similar in a lot of different ways. And that's one of them. We are helpers. We are, and that's why we bond so much. And it's very much, I was a student, but now, and I owe him literally all of this. I mean, I put in the work, but he gave me the opportunities, right? But everything that I can see myself in a lot of how he treats the PWA kids. And I think a lot of it is just from what I see, like really good work ethic. And like he just runs a tight ship, and so is Fluffman and all those guys. It's cool to see the PWA because I was part of the last class. Literally, Ethan, Billy, and Malachi Matthews came in on a Tuesday. That Thursday before we had our last class with the guy that showed up like an hour and a half late every time. And the only thing that was cool about him was he had the $1 Million Man money bag, like the blue and yellow money bag. And I was
really?
To carry his gear in. And then he came out to Stricken by Disturbed. And I was like, okay, I get wrestling now. I was like, cool, Stricken, huh? Neat.
Have you ever met Disturbed?
No. Have I ever met them?
I have.
You met David Draymond?
Mm-hmm.
John Moyer?
Ozfest.
Wait, like in 2001?
Yeah, it was way back.
When
what probably was 2001 was in Charlotte.
Dang, that Ozfest was great. You had everybody.
I didn't see the main stage because I got there early.
So you didn't stay late?
No, God, no. It was like 100 degrees outside.
Why are you 200 years old, man?
At about 4 o'clock, I was like, fuck this, I'm going home.
All the good stuff was still coming.
I know. Marilyn Manson, Disturbed, Ozzy, Black Label Society. I think that was
yeah, that was probably the main,
stage.
yeah. Yeah, man. I'm so excited to sweat at a festival. Sorry I'm missing Pure next month, but like I'm going to my first concert in 18 months. I may die there. Like, and that's cool. It's at a haunted penitentiary in Ohio.
What?
Yeah, so it's incarceration. It's
I like the name of the
but INK because it's a tattoo festival. Incarceration.
It's a tattoo festival.
It's a tattoo and metal festival. Yeah, at Ohio State Penitentiary in Mansfield, Ohio, one of the most haunted places in America.
Are you into that?
Yeah, I am. Although if I ever saw a ghost, so like if there's any ghosts that are watching this, please don't.
Yeah.
Because if I ever saw a ghost, like sometimes
have you seen Hell House?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I don't want any of that. Like, I don't want to actually see a ghost.
Prime movie.
Yeah, Hell House. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was fun. And no, I love that stuff, but if I ever actually saw something, I don't know what I would love. No, I don't want to say this out loud, but
say it out loud.
It would be so interesting to see what that would like if I saw like unequivocally saw a ghost. What I would very interested to know how that would break my brain.
Experience?
My sister is very, very like she can feel my grandmother.
Okay.
She can feel
She's
my
like a
just a little.
What are they called?
Like a medium.
Medium, yeah.
But a little bit, not to the point. She asks it to go away because I get it. Like I don't. And my brother chased that stuff until it got real for him, and he felt like this something on his back coming back from a haunting, and like he was like, I felt sick. I felt awful for a couple days. I'm like, that's called COVID, Mike. Yeah. But no, like he was like, I'm never doing, like, he was a ghost. He did the EVPs. He would go on tours, do all that stuff. And then at a certain point, he was like, I think I'm done with that. Yeah. And he's not easily spooked at all. And he was like, I'm done. So there's is the classic, like, if you're out looking for something, you're probably going to find it no matter what you're doing.
Yes.
Because it's law of attraction in the negative way.
Because we talked earlier, have you ever seen a concert that you after it's over, you're like, there's nothing ever going to top that? That happened to me recently.
Go ahead. I don't think I have one because there's times like when I come out of a concert and I'm literally drenched in not my own sweat. Mm-hmm. It is the most euphoric.
Do you get into the?
Yeah, I'm into the pit. Yeah.
Oh, you're crazy.
Dude, look at me, man. I have like 1,000. I go 1,000 miles an hour at all times. I have a very like intense side, and I channel it at the gym or I channel it listening to music or playing guitar. I need to keep it there. I call it the dragon. I have like this really negative ball of energy that's in me at all times, and it sucks. Ghost?
I think it's rain.
Oh, bummer. I can't wait to drive back. But like, I had to keep it in check. And one of the ways I do that, like I think about catharsis a lot. Like how am I releasing these positive, like emotions, and how am I doing that? Mm-hmm. And how do I process negative emotions, which is why I'm going to therapy, because like my smart brain or like my thinking brain can tell my feeling brain how I should think. Yeah. But a feeling brain, like that feeling aspect, it's going to do whatever it wants. Yeah. Like you can't discount your feelings like that. And so like I'm trying to learn how to process and like get good catharsis and stuff like that. And music does that for me. Gotcha. So no, I mean, I've never seen the Avett Brothers at Red Rocks. I'm not sure. Well, are you going to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, it's so weird because I owe everything to Katie because I had mentioned, so the Avett Brothers, like there's a whole backstory of me doing like videos for them when they were first
cool.
growing. And I won't get into it.
Well, baby all grew up.
But I saw like a live from Red Rocks Mumford & Sons concert on Showtime probably 4 years ago. And when I watched that, I was like, I have to go to this venue. Yeah. And anytime, like knowing it's never going to happen. It's in like
Colorado.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Pipe dream.
The town it's in.
But is it Boulder? I don't know.
No. It's right outside. It's not Lakewood. We stayed in Lakewood. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
And for Christmas, I have a card from Katie for my Christmas gift, and I'm like, she got me a card, cool. And open it, and it's tickets to Avett's at Red Rock. And I'm like, what? Like, for the first time ever, like, from a gift, I want to cry.
Yeah.
Because, once again,
so special.
This is nothing I would have never done for myself.
No, yeah.
And B is the first time since Garrison was born that we've had a trip just for us two.
Yeah.
And C, I'm so big on experiences. Like, experience is the only thing you can take with you.
100%, 1,000%.
And that's why I'll spend money on an experience.
Same.
And it's like, and also the artistic side of me or the understanding of experience side of me allows me to take that in.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird about wrestling is I don't take it in. Like,
I don't either. I won't remember what happened tonight.
Is whenever, like, I'm in Hammerstein's TV studio editing New Japan from Hammerstein Live on New Japan World, and I don't take it in until afterwards.
Because it happens incrementally. Like people are like, wow, do you ever just sit back? I think I asked Skylar this a bunch of times, especially after his debut last week. And I may have asked him this, but I've definitely asked him before. Do you ever just take it in? And it's one of those things where I get why people are like, what? No, no. Brett Wolverton takes pictures every single show. You know who doesn't? Me.
Yeah, me either.
I because it's incremental. So, I mean, if you would have told me 3 years, I had that great picture. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. I'm in the second row of PWX, and Ethan reaches over the first row and hugs me. It's on my wall in my office. It is the best. It was the one where Dreamer was there, and he faced was it Jason Cade?
Yeah.
That was, oh God, it was so
it was
good.
in Shelby.
Yeah. I drove all the way there. Yeah, absolutely. Just to watch wrestling.
Awesome.
To go from that to being able to be part of it to the literal nth degree. Like, I couldn't be more part of it if I tried. I bet if I went back and talked to the kid that was sitting in that room, it would have been tight. Like, and especially 10-year-old me would think 32, almost 33-year-old me is pretty tight. And I think that's cool.
Yeah. And it's like when I was at Red Rocks, I just took it in. Like the entire time.
Yeah. Oh.
It was just like, this is
catharsis.
Like emotion comes over.
Catharsis.
Talk about it. And it's just like, this is what life's about.
Yeah.
It's like this, working your ass off
to get that
to the point of you get this.
And
that's what life's about. And it's so weird that a fucking Avett concert at Red Rocks is what brings that out. Yeah, when Slipknot plays People Equal Shit and I'm in the pit and I'm crying from just the emotion,
the built up emotion of the past 18 months, like, and because we're not back to normal again, and just being able, and they announced that you either have to be vaccinated or have 3 days negative COVID test. So I've been vaccinated since March. Yeah, it's just an extra layer of protection, and I'm like, I'm gonna actually get to enjoy myself and not think about. Just be, and music I used to go to concerts all the time.
Go and
I need
enjoy the moment.
And going to concerts is the main way I do that. But it's funny you talk about Red Rocks. It is a goal of mine too. I told you to bring me back a rock. It was so stupid.
Dude, but the crazy thing is once you go, it's like it's attainable.
Yeah.
Like
the first just Colorado. It's a flight.
That me and Katie said when we were in the airport about to fly home is, you need to take your dad to a show there. That's what she said to me. I was like, I think I'm going to.
It's a flight, a hotel stay, and a ticket.
Whenever I saw my dad the next time, I said, hey, who would you want? Would you like to go see Zach Brown there? Would you like to go see, Jimmy
Buffett?
No, Walker.
Jimmy, I don't listen to any of that.
It's singer-songwriter. My dad lived in San Antonio for 5 years, so he's singer-songwriter.
Good country,
John Prine is the god of music to him.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who John Prine is, look him up.
He's all right.
Unfortunately, he passed away last year because
he's great.
Yes, but yeah, I think that's how we'll end.
Cool experiences. Tight. Yeah, that was
understand them.
Enjoy the catharsis. Let yourself feel, for gosh sakes.
And if you work your ass off, allow yourself the opportunity to experience them.
I'm gonna have a really nice drive home. I'm just gonna be like, I'm in a good place, because it is like you just have to. You have to allow yourself joy.
Yeah.
And we're so curmudgeoned about experiencing joy. And this is something I'm working on. Like, I need to be in the moment, experience the joy, experience the negative thoughts as they come, the positive thoughts as they come, and float them to the surface and just process them and find the balance.
Find the balance and do what you love and enjoy life.
Yeah, man. And I'm so thankful for you to help me do that. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.